Hello YouTube. So I'm here today to share with you my ultralight and ultra safe self-climbing tree stand setup. You know, for a few years I hunted with, I have this Summit Viper, and I hunted with the seat. The self-climber supposedly required a seat to climb, to do the inchworm up the tree. But what I found was I hunt a lot of public land, and I like to go really deep. I hunt a mile out, usually, at least from the parking lot. And, you know, that's a lot of weight. And it's really rattly, too. No matter how tightly you strap them together, you get out there early, you get to your tree, and you take them apart, and they're clanging and clanging. You're sweaty because you carried all that weight. And I just wanted to think of a way to eliminate the seat. Typically, you go hunting in the morning and in the evening, unless it's the rut, and then you hunt all day. But if you're just hunting in the morning and the evening, you really don't need a seat. It's not that big of a deal to stand up for 2 hours and wait for a deer. So I came up with something. Here is my setup. So I'm wearing a rock climbing harness. It's just a waist harness, and I have a rock climbing rope. Now this is about a 10 millimeter rock climbing rope. You could get this at a climbing shop or online. The ropes, the safety ropes that come with commercially marketed full body hunting harnesses would work as well. So what I've done is just tied a knot in the end, it's a figure eight, simple figure eight knot. An overhand knot would work fine, but I've left this loop, so that's important. So all I do is go around the tree, and then I have the tail end, and I push it through that loop. So I've essentially lassoed the tree. And we'll pull out all the slack of my rope. I have a really long rope because I like to hunt really high too. I go 25 feet up usually, and that really helps to eliminate the scent. Helps to eliminate any odor that you might have. All right, so as you can see, we've lassoed the tree. Hopefully you can see that. Good and tight. Now, with my harness, I have what's called a belay device or a rappelling device. I'm going to show you this up close now. All right, so I have this device. This is meant for rappelling. What you do is you take your rope, you make a loop, and you push it through the device, and you clip a carabiner through that loop. So now the rope can feed through the device like this. This helps in a controlled descent, so I can pull my hand behind me and rappel. All right, now, so what I do is hang at the base of the tree. The rope is lassoed around the tree at about head height, and I pull up all the slack, and I have this special carabiner too. This is called the Petzl Freno. You can look this up online as well. I'll try to leave a link in the description below. It has this separate hook on it. So as I pull all the slack out, I put the rope through that hook, then I pull another loop up, and I tie it around the rope a couple of times like this. Now, I'm hands-free, I'm locked in. So you lasso the tree about head height, pull down on it so it's tight. Go through your device, pull the slack out so that it's tight while you're standing on the ground. This is at head height. Push the rope through the device and tie the rope around itself a couple of times. Cinch it down. Now you can hang hands-free. This is the key. So obviously you don't want your bow or your gun in your backpack, so I bring a tag rope for that. I leave these on the ground. And lay out your tag line or your trail line so that it doesn't have any tangles in it. And then you can tie the end of this either to your harness or to the tree stand itself. Doesn't really matter. I think I'll tie it to the tree stand. So, here's the deal. Just pull on the rope and step up into the tree stand. And then loosen the rope, move it up the tree, pull it tight, step off the tree stand, move it up, rock on, pull up, repeat. So another one of the great things about this tactic, this trick, is that if you're not hunting on public land or you're hunting in a place where you're allowed to leave stands overnight, I'm not allowed to do that on national forest land. If you're allowed to leave your stand overnight, you can just rappel down using your device, zip down the line, leave your rope hanging. The next day, the next morning, the next weekend, you just come back to your rope and you hook and you can ascend the rope. Now this requires a little more special knowledge, which I'll try and share with you now. You can look into this more probably on YouTube, find more videos about this. But what I've done is I've created, with the smaller cord, a foot loop. So I'm gonna use what's called a prusik. So with the prusik, you take that loop of rope and you wrap it around the main line 2 or 3 times, and then thread the whole thing back through that loop. So you can see what I've created there. Now this will cinch onto the rope. So now, for safety, I tie that onto my harness. I use the double fisherman's knot for most of this stuff. It's pretty easy and it's extremely strong. You can also, if you're a fisherman, you probably already know that knot. If you're not, you can research that one online as well. So now I'm tied on. Now I have this special ascender made for ropes. It latches onto the rope. You could just use a prusik for the top. It would be more lightweight. It would be much quieter. I just prefer this since I have it for the upper one. This slides up the rope, and I put my foot in the loop at the bottom. You'll see how this works right now. So I can use that for my leg. I'm actually going to use my right leg because my left knee has been bugging me. You stand in that and push the upper one up so you can sit in it. So you weight it, slide the prusik knot up the rope again, stand up, push the upper ascender up. You can just repeat that all the way up the tree. It's really fast. It's really silent. So much better than dragging climbing sticks into the woods. All right, so now we made it to the tree. Ready to start hunting. Well, the reason that I wear this device is it's a rappel device, and so this is why this is super safe. Not only are you attached to the tree the entire time you're climbing from the ground to the top, you're always attached to the tree. What happens if you fall? Now, with the full body harness, you're attached behind your head with this tether, and I've seen pictures of people falling and they're just dangling there, facing away from the tree. There's no way to grab it, to start climbing back up. You're kind of screwed. Hopefully you have a cell phone on you or a buddy nearby. With this system, if you fall, if you get hurt, you just go to the ground, and I'm going to show you how now. I'm just going to step off instead of fall off, but let's say I just fell. Okay, okay, I'm facing the tree. I'm not facing away from it. The rope's in front of me. at this point I could just pull back up onto the tree stand. But let's say I got hurt, or let's say the tree stand moved or fell, or something happened and I want to get down. All you have to do is untie this knot. You undo these loops that I showed you earlier. And you just go to the ground. All right, so we're in the tree stand. We got up here safely. We've been tied in the whole time. It's great. When you get up here, the lasso around the tree has a tendency, it could get a little loose, it'll wiggle down the tree. If you fall, it'll cinch tight, always. I've been using this for years and have had no issues. But what I like to do is put a screw in the tree under the rope so that just keeps it there. It keeps it from sliding down the tree. And it also, that's what I use to hang my bow. So the screw in the tree, about head height, a little over my head typically, allows me to turn freely. Can hunt in every direction. And that's that. Now what you'll also notice here is that I've tied my tagline now with the double fisherman's knot, and I've tied it to one part of the loop that goes around the tree. Now this is important so that when you get down, after you rappel down the tree, when you're finished hunting for the day, this allows you to get the rope down. So what you'll do when you get to the ground is pull on this, and as you can see, it loosens that knot up, and the rope will fall down to the ground, where you can then coil it up, put it in your backpack, and go home. I'll show you that. I'll show you more of that here in a minute. I'm going to share one more secret with you. You know, I said it's no big deal to stand for a couple hours and hunt. It's not, no big deal. But I'm getting older. Sometimes I like to hunt all day. It's nice to have a seat without the weight of that second part of the climbing tree stand. So I have devised, believe it or not, a new seat. Here it is. So this seat is just a board. I've shaped it so it's kind of comfortable. I rounded it off. I drilled a steel dowel, has a spike on the end, into the piece and used JB Weld, the steel dowel, into the piece, and I used JB Weld to hold that in there. Taking the small line, tied a knot under the board. It goes around the tree, over the hook that I keep my backpack attached to. Comes back around the tree and is knotted right here. This is, it's really a hitch. It's not a knot. So it tightens down, but it comes apart very easily. This little bad boy makes all day hunting a breeze. All right, so I'm about to pull the rope down. I wanted to mention that to get the tree stand down, I typically rappel down to I step off the tree stand, wrap down a foot or two until you're even with the tree stand, and then I'll wrap the rope around my legs in a figure eight, about like this, so that you can hang hands-free. I'll undo the tree stand. Usually I just hang on to it with one hand, then I just undo the rope from my legs and rappel on down to the ground. That's how you get the tree stand platform back down. Now, to get the rope down, you can't pull on this. That thing is on there well. Like I said, I've used this for about 4 years now, and I have had no rope slippage, no incidents whatsoever. It's very safe. But it's important, one, that you take out the screw from the tree that you had under the rope, the one that you had your bow hanging on. That's important. If you don't take that out, you won't get the rope down. It's important that you have this tag line tied through the loop in the climbing rope like I showed you up top. Now all you have to do is pull on this tag line and the rope comes down. It's quiet, it's safe, it's simple, it's wonderful. Happy hunting, stay safe.